All right. Well, we are here. Welcome to the Love Camp Ghana information session. My name is Renee Miller. I am the founder of the Love Camp. And I just want to tell you a little bit about the Love Camp. Then we're going to jump right on in about the Ghana trip itself. But for those of you that are new to the Love Camp, we exist primarily to be a catalyst for healthy love in the Black community. And we know that if we're a catalyst in the Black community, we're a catalyst for more love in the world in general. We also exist because we want to teach healthy relationship skills through our exclusive 7 factors of love that really talks about how do we get healthy with self so that we get healthy with our significant other and then our household and then ultimately our communities. And last but not least, we exist because we want to make sure that our households are healthier. Just to give you a little bit of statistics, just in case you don't know the need for us to exist, we have 48% of our community, um, men or women who've never been married. We have 30% currently married, and we have 52% of Black women married. So we really want to make sure that we are strengthening and being a strong support around the healthy love in our Black communities. And one of the ways to do that is to create these excursions that we go on to really support healthy relationships. So, as we get started, I just want to ask if you haven't muted yourself, go ahead and mute yourself. Much appreciated. And then we're going to jump in. So, let's talk a little bit about Love Camp Ghana. Love Camp Ghana really is an opportunity for us to not only promote healthy relationships as we do so well, but it's a way for us to experience Ghana and really look at how do other countries celebrate love inside of our context and use the experiences that we have over here to learn and gain understanding of how they do it over there, keeping in mind that we want to strengthen our relationships. And so it's an opportunity to move through the Love Camp curriculum uh, inside of a new culture with different excursions that happen through all regions of Ghana. Additionally, people ask me all the time, they're like, do we have to go all the way to Ghana or do we have to go all the way over the world to learn healthy love practices? And what I always say is, no, you don't. We have things happening here all the time, but why not? Many folks have not had the pleasure of experiencing the continent. Many folks who have always wanted to experience more than just talking about relationships inside of the same culture they're accustomed to. They join us and they use that as an opportunity to be around like minded individuals, experiencing a whole new environment that keeps the experience new, fresh, and really sacred. So we have curated events that happen. And so tonight we're going to talk a little bit about what has it been like traveling with us. This is a partnership between Tide Tours and the Love Camp. And I have some folks that are joining us to share it. But we also have one of the curators who's here from Ghana to talk a little bit about what to expect. So this is a chance for us tonight to answer all of your questions, to address the experience as a whole, not only the culture, the food, but the curriculum as it exists to support our communities with healthy love. So, I want to tell you a little bit briefly before our folks who are with us share their testimonies. I just want to share the thing that stood out for me the very first time the Love Camp went to the continent, which was in Tanzania. And this will be our second time going back. The thing that really spoke to me was watching folks transform their relationship to love and their relationships with themselves. That was so powerful because here it is, we're like thousands of miles away in these completely beautiful climate, culture, getting to know wonderful people and wonderful new experiences. and transformation was happening. People were shifting their minds. People were having a different reality of what they thought about love and how they thought about their connection with their self or even their significant other. And for me, that was like, oh, okay, almost like this is a proof and concept that going around the world in a new environment outside of your daily norm can be not only fulfilling and enriching, but it can also be transformative. So that's what stands out to me. And I'll tell you just briefly one of the young ladies that joined us, she had an experience that was looping in her mind for decades. And when she left the retreat with us, her whole transformation around how she's seen herself and her experience, and I won't go into specifically what the example was, but I will say that she completely shifted and let go of uh, a story and experience, even trauma that no longer sat with her once we finished our last retreat. So this one is brand new, coming up in Ghana in 2024. And the intention is to create all new experiences all over again. So I have two beautiful people that came with us last time when we went to Tanzania. We had Love Camp Tanzania, and now we have Love Camp Ghana. And I just want to ask Alana to come off of mute and share her experience with when you went to Love Camp Tanzania. What were some of the things? So one thing I want you to ask, share with us is what was the experience like for you? And then what was one thing that you realized or that was a growth experience for you by joining us with Love Camp Tanzania?
So, good evening, everyone. So, I remember the last question first, so I'm going to answer that.
Okay.
But pretty much like what I learned going there. So at that time, I really was just thinking about love in general in the terms of what it would look like to be healthy in a relationship and just the things that, that I would need going into a relationship and the things that I would need in a significant other. I will say, having gone to Tanzania in 2022, it is now 2024. I am still reflecting on the things that I learned, to be honest. And one of the things that I learned, and I will even say, even realization, even as of the day, this moment, was just that the love that I really needed to really nurture and cultivate was really just the love that I had for myself. And so that's still so much of a work in progress. But I will say that it was absolutely beautiful to be able to see myself on the continent. That was just really, like no other experience. I know that again, um, you can do the work from anywhere, but it was literally like the moment that I stepped off the plane, the air quality was different, the quality of food was different, the quality of people were different, my people, my family, that I still keep in contact with today. So, um, like I said, I learned so much about me. That really is the biggest takeaway and the biggest thing that I'm actually still working on. So that was just the beginning, to be honest. So that's the answer to that question. Can you ask the first question again?
You actually answered the first question, and it was like, "What was your experience like?" So I have a quick bonus question, then I will stop asking questions. Um, what was the one memory that stood out to you? Like, was there, if you were thinking of a memory from our last excursion in the continent, what was the memory that stood out to you?
Wow, there's so many. There honestly are so many. Um,
And
there
if
are
you can't think of one, it's okay.
Yeah, like there are so many, but since Chad's on the on the call, he kind of just brought back a memory just by you being there. But one of the things that I thought was so awesome, I went on this beautiful trip with two good friends of mine, one that is joining us this evening. But the memory that just kind of like popped into my mind was literally we were in what was it, the water, what was the heating pool? What was it called again?
Like, was it the sauna? There was a spring.
The spring. We were at the spring.
Yes. Mhm.
So, Chad definitely being big brother at that time, also going for his love coach certification. Congratulations again to you publicly, Chad. But that moment, just being in the spring, in the water, where you had to really just be vulnerable anyway because we were being taken away by this water, really couldn't move, and the fish that were just like biting our feet. But we were able to, once we got stable, just really kind of talk to Chad about just life. So it was really beautiful, in addition to just kind of having my own perspective as a woman, just being able to hear a male perspective of that too. So literally that memory was so beautiful. And then even there were so many, but I'll just add one more memory, just walking on Kilimanjaro, Mount Kilimanjaro.
Mm,
That was so
that's a
amazing.
good one.
It was such a trek to get to this waterfall. But when we got there, we did some yoga, some releasing. We got a crystal that Renee gave to us that I cleansed my crystal in the water. So there were so many memories. But those are just two very quickly that I wanted to share. So I
I
didn't go
love that.
alone, and I didn't come back alone either. So that was just so beautiful.
I love that. Thank you. Wow, beautiful. Okay. Same question. And Alana, I appreciate you joining us tonight. I know that you have another commitment, so I appreciate you joining us, and I appreciate you sharing your insight tonight with us. So if I don't get a chance to say it to you, good night. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much.
Same question, Mr. Chad. I know I asked three. I'm gonna ask you the first one. What was the experience like for you traveling to the continent? I know it was your first time. What was that like traveling to the continent with the Love Camp?
Well, I couldn't have gone for with a better intention, to be honest. It's different when you're just going for like a pleasure trip, but when you're going with a purpose, it makes it even better. So, but the fact that we were going with a group of people who were looking to become better in love and attract better love into their lives, in the environment we were in, just made it even better. It kind of, put the icing on the cake. Um, I was excited just to be able to go to the continent and just walk the land that, the ancestors walked on and breathe the same air they breathed and drink the same water they drank, and just being able to just be in that environment was amazing. And then with the experiences that were cultivated by not only the Love Camp, but also with Kim and Tide Tours, it just made it a once in a lifetime experience. So the fact that I'm able and blessed, quite honestly, to be able to go back 2 years later for another once in a lifetime trip. I just feel so fortunate, and I feel like it's going to bless everyone who gets to come with us. Because the one thing that I came back with was, if you're an African American, you need to go to the continent. You need to experience it at least once in your life, because it's different when you hear about things, when you see things on TV, or when you know somebody from the continent, to actually being there and you're in the middle of, I call them, man, people, so you get to go over there,
Say
and
that.
you get to go, man, people, you get to go, mix yourself, immerse yourself in the culture, and learn some of the language. And you get to, one of the things that was amazing to me was the way we were just welcomed by everyone. There's some mixed messages about how hospitable people on the continent are to to African Americans, and I found that just wasn't true. At least not where we were. Everywhere we went, they said, welcome home. Everyone called me Big Brother Chad. Uh, all the kids wanted to just be around us. They just wanted to, even they just wanted to just like touch our hands, and they just wanted to just be in our space because
Right.
we were American. And then you mix it up with the curriculum that we had, the Love Camp curriculum. I was so proud of you because I saw how hard you worked on it, and when it all came together, they came together so perfectly. And there were so many breakthroughs during this time that we had just in people's personal lives that they finally got to, like, I think they, quote unquote, they got it. You know what I mean? There's some things that people were thinking about were kind of, shaking around in their hearts and their spirits. And I think on some level, a lot of things really came together for them. And it was beautiful seeing it. It was beautiful seeing it. And I was humbled that I got to be a part of it, because this whole thing was new to me too. This whole love coaching was new to me. And the fact that I got to learn on the job was really cool. And the impact, that we had as a team with everyone who was on the trip. I mean, everyone. There wasn't one person on the trip who I felt didn't see. Everyone from like Alana, who 2 years have passed, and I've seen the changes in them. It's again, it's just super humbling, and I'm excited that we get to go back with a bigger, better, and revised edition of the Love Camp curriculum. All new tools, all new activities, all new curation. I think it's going to be bigger and better. Just to think that it could get better than Tanzania, I wouldn't imagine it. But being on the inside and seeing what's coming, it's absolutely like Love Camp 2.0.
I love it. Thank you for saying that. I love that. Well, I love it. I got chills just thinking about it. All right. So I appreciate you both sharing your insight and sharing your experience, because there's nothing like I wrote I wrote the curriculum, but then I teamed up with Thai Tours on the activities. But it's nothing like talking to people and they share their experience, because you know how you feel about what you've done. But it's always beautiful when people can share that it was valuable and it made sense and it was worthwhile. So I'm going to share a video now, because I want those who are watching this to experience a little bit of what it's like to go to the continent with us and to really be immersed in the culture. And so this is a 1 minute video. Give me a second. I'm going to set it
Renee, while
up.
you're queuing it up, I just want to say goodnight to everyone. But I just want to also say thank you so much, honestly, for the execution of your vision. It really has, the work began there, it's still happening there. And just honestly, for anybody else that's watching, just do yourself a favor, figure out a way. Your investment for yourself will repay you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, Alana.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to share this video. Okay, can someone let me know if you can see the video?
Yep, I see it.
Okay, perfect. All right.
My name is Olamina Stevenson.
And I can't begin to tell you the experience that I had traveling with Todd Tours to the motherland, more specifically going to Tanzania. The journey, the tour that they put on for us was just an amazing, life-changing experience. You got a chance to explore and experience all the different aspects that Tanzania had to offer, from the beautiful people, the foods, the scenery, getting a chance to see the Maasai people and visit Mount Kilimanjaro, the waterfalls, and the food markets. Just put on an amazing trip for us, a journey that is sure to have changed my life. And I encourage you, if you ever get an opportunity to go home to experience Todd's Tours, is who you need to travel with. Um, Thank you, Todd Tours, for giving us a life-changing experience. Can't wait to travel with you again. Be well.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So, what better way to hear not only from former participants of our retreats, but also to hear from one of our special curators who will work hand in hand with the Love Camp to create the Tide Tours very specialized um, events and curation that coincide with our love mission and experience and expand how we see love and how we connect with each other. And so I'm going to invite him to come on. Now he's in the continent, so we lost him for a second, but hopefully he'll be back on. And while he's coming back on, of course, he's around the world. And so sometimes reception is a little interesting to say the least. But one of the beautiful things about this experience is it really is a partnership between two powerful companies. Tide Tours handles all of our travel itinerary, and they also do the curation with special curators that will use our curriculum, how we move our guests through seasons, and create the experiences that really navigate them through the experience to shift their reality with that season. So, for example, in the winter season, which is when we start, we're doing a lot of reflection. We're jumping in and we're thinking about who we are, what's our relationship to love, how do we connect with ourselves and with our significant others or the folks that we want to have a special relationship. How do we connect well? We even talk about what's our context about love, context about our community, context about ourselves, what still needs to be healed, what's incomplete, what love blocks us. I mean, we go in, but while we're doing that, the curation is experiences that will help you to solidify the thing that you've become aware of. So, for example, as the young lady shared, Alana shared, one of our activities was we hiked up Mount Kilimanjaro, but we had an exercise where we realized how we need to put many things down that no longer served us. So when we're hiking up the mountain, we're intentionally releasing. We get to the waterfall and we do this amazing, energetic, um, but very serene meditation and yoga experience. And people literally said they felt lighter because the activity was directly curated with the days of the curriculum that coincide with the seasons that we're moving. And so by the time we got to the summer season, when we went to Tanzania, we actually went to a club where we went to a lounge and we got a chance to dance and practice some of the relationship skills that we talked about. So it really is a very specific curriculum designed to support not only your journey with yourself, your connection with yourself, but your connection with love and loving another. And people were getting breakthroughs. Like I said, there was a young lady that had a context that she had been holding on for decades. And when I pointed it out to her as a coach, she hadn't even realized she had that context. And then she was like, like that's a whole different way of thinking about something or being that she just was not aware of. We had another lady who um, really wanted to practice being more vulnerable and more trusting. And the connection, because we do interviews with the folks that come with us because the connections, we want them to be solid connections. We want the experience for everyone to feel safe and enjoyable and connected and supported. And the way that we do that is early on, we create an atmosphere of connection and togetherness and support and respect. And it works really well because of the environment we pride ourselves on creating. So this year with Love Camp Ghana, we are doing the same thing. The idea is now to go to one of the other countries in the continent that has a really high demand. People really want to visit um, Ghana, and I've been wanting to visit Ghana. And we talk a lot about Black love and the history of it. Who are we today? Who have we been? Why are we the way we are today? And what do we see we want to shift? But again, we do it in conversation mixed with an activity. In this particular year, we're going to go to see the Asante people, and that will give us a chance to really do some analysis, but in a fun and engaging environment of what are some of the things that we believe in our culture and how do we shift that. And so we have our curator here. Can you introduce yourself? Oh, we lost him again. I think the reception is just not good, but the idea is to have our curation coincide with the activities. Can you hear us, Abraham? If you go ahead and unmute yourself, that would be phenomenal. Unmute yourself. Okay. And if you could tell us a little bit about the excursions that you curate for us, what will our experience look in your region? What will some of the things be that you will curate for us? Or
Yeah, I'll first of all introduce myself. I'm Ibrahim Badino, a reggae artist from the Upper West region
okay.
of Ghana, that's northwestern part, and 2018. Yeah, so mostly I always say northern part of Ghana is the distance. Uh, our ancestors were taken over here first, and then they send them down to Cape Coast. So everything started over here. So I mean, like, so I don't know how I have a bad connection, and where I am was very noisy too. So I'm trying to get a good location to see that.
Well, we just appreciate you being on with us. I think maybe because we don't want to hold you, especially if the reception is bad, but maybe if there's a couple quick things you could tell us that make Tide Tours curation in your experience unique. Like, what is it that you guys do that makes it unique in the experience with traveling to Ghana?
Hello.
Yes. The reception still bad?
Yeah, I traveled down. Currently, I'm in the village, so I traveled down to the village about yesterday. We had a funeral, so it's very bad. Connection is very bad over here, and mostly in Ghana. That is what we have always. And one of the issues we have here, bad connection in the rural areas. So I'm trying to find out a place that I can get a good connection to.
Well, I tell you what, I just appreciate. I know you've been on with us and you've been trying to get the connection, and I understand it's we're in the continent. So at the end of the day, I just appreciate you coming on. If you're not able to share more, we do have a guest with us. You can go ahead and mute yourself, and then
Okay.
if you find a better connection, great. But we're just grateful that you came on.
Okay.
So, Miss Rashida, welcome. Good evening. Thank you for being here with us. We're so grateful to have you. We shared tonight a little bit from our other folks that were sharing their experience with our Love Camp Tanzania. And if I say Tanzania now, just because everybody else keeps saying it, I guess we say it wrong. And so I'm going to ask you two or three quick questions because I'd love for those that are watching us to have an understanding of what it's like from folks that have traveled with our Tide Tours Love Camps. Um, so the first question I'll ask you is, what was the experience like for you? Like, if you could just paint the experience, what was it like for you when you traveled to Tanzania, Love Camp Tanzania?
Good evening, Renee. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Well, I had an amazing experience, and I would say it probably goes without words. From the people that I met, to just being on the motherland, to the weather, to the curriculum. Everything was just above and beyond, went above which that I expected. I just had really, really rich experiences. And I think that one of the things that's very important with me that may set me apart from other people is that I also went with intention. So I was very
Love
intentional
that.
that I wanted to receive. And I think that because I also went in with an intention and an open heart, I was able to get abundance of, of joy and love and friendships that will be lifelong. And this trip happened in October, and I feel like I'm still integrating a lot of the experiences and the work of which showed up. A lot of the lessons learned about love, about the self work that still needs to happen. So I'm just forever grateful for the experience, and to you, Renee, for curating such a dynamic experience.
Thank you. I feel like this experience was such a beautiful and powerful one, the Love Camp Tanzania, because it really was a passion project for two folks that cared about like bringing love communication together. Tide Tours and Love Camp was really a brilliant idea around supporting this love journey. So thank you for saying that, because it was definitely a labor of love and there was no shortage of the work. And you talk about intention. I wanted folks like yourself to join us. I wanted people that could benefit from the experience to come, and you were a reflection of that. So I'm going to ask you another question. What was some of your favorite memories? Like if you had like one or two memories that stood out from our trip, what was it when we went to Love Camp Tanzania? And particularly around maybe just like the experiences that you had or something that you were like, wow, that was good.
Yeah, I had so many. I think all of them, all of the experiences we had were memorable. But I'll say one of the experiences that stood out the most to me, that still kind of like has me in awe, is when we climbed to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro. That was an experience in so many ways. One, because the scenery and just looking at the divinity of creation was one. But then the fact that, when you really think about climbing a mountain, it kind of seems like, am I gonna be able to do this? You kind of want to talk yourself out of it because it seems like momentous, seems like, how am I going to be able to do this? But the experience was that we really worked together. You know what I mean? And that is what really stood out to me because, when a step might have been too high, somebody may have reached back to pull somebody else up. If someone was afraid, there was a warm heart that said, I'll stay behind it if you need to go at a slower pace. So that was just such a huge aha for me, not just the beauty of the surroundings and the scenery, but the experience of connection that we had by just supporting each other by going up that mountain. And even though that might have not been, it wasn't intimate love, I think it was still such a reflection of love because it just
Yes.
demonstrated how men and women of different ages can work together and make this thing work. And it was almost like an illustration of what, hey, if this actually kind of pans out in the world in this way, if we work together and show up in these spaces, wow, what beauty can come of it. So that was one of my greatest experiences. And like I said, I had so many, but another one I really enjoyed was we had a really special evening where we went out on the town, and you'll have to remind me the exact space. But we went out on the town, and there were some challenges that Renee had, as due, and I won't give them out too much, but there were specific challenges that she would assign you to do based upon maybe what you needed to overcome in your personal life or your love life. And so we were tasked with different things that caused us to step out of our comfort zone. And I remember me and my girlfriend got out there, and Alana actually, so I'll say her because y'all may have seen her, but we got out there and we were able to dance, and really kind of step out of our comfort zone. And
I
for me,
remember
that
that.
was just very exciting. It was very, very exciting to be able to do that. So those were only two of many, but I just say I just enjoyed the entire trip.
Well, thank you so much. It's interesting because some of your same memories are some of the memories that I have as well. And that's a sign of a great trip, that you can, because you didn't even know that I said earlier some of the same memories and some of the same things that stood out to me. I did reference when we went out and had nightlife. And while we did a lot of things, I said earlier that I love seeing the transformation, the change, the stretch, the growth that happens from folks joining us on these types of trips. So I love that you said that, and I appreciate it. I really do. Okay. So I ask you one more quick question, and then we're gonna hear from Ty Tours. But what would you say is the thing that has helped you to grow the most from the tour, even if it's a reflection? What was the thing from Love Camp Tanzania that was really like, huh, that 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 was good for me, or that helped me to grow? And any and all is appreciated.
I would say several things, but I'll just keep it brief with just two things that really stood out. Was just that, just because it was my first time going to the motherland, just really just dismantling a lot of the myths around what the motherland experience was like. I think that was really huge for me, being a first timer. Like we really, being a part of Tide Tours and the Love Camp, got to experience a vast, array of experiences on the motherland. And I love the quote that you all say, from the streets to the suites. And I think that was powerful because sometimes, as you know, on television, people say all the time, you just have this one idea of what Africa looks like, and it's so expansive, and it's very beautiful. So I think one thing was just the dismantling of the myths, being out there to experience it for myself, talk to the locals, and just feeling so loved and embraced by them. I mean, when I stepped on the land, I felt like I was home. You know what I mean? And there's not too many places. I've been a lot of places, and you don't always feel like you're home. A lot of times when you travel, especially other European places I've been, you feel like a foreigner. But when I went to the motherland, I felt at home, and I felt like everybody embraced me. So that was one thing that I truly, truly love. And then the last thing that I'll mention, but of course not least, was the intergenerational experience. Was one that I'm very, very grateful for. I've always been very attracted to learning from people that are, seasoned or older than me,
Right.
or elder. And there were
Mm.
so many layers of women, that was able to learn from, and different dynamics of love experiences that I was able to glean from singleness to for divorce,
Mm.
from widows. So that intergenerational kind of blending of experiences that I learned from as a single woman, not yet married, not yet having children, that was so powerful for me, to
Mm.
see the beauty in and out of season of experiences of the different women and men for that matter. So those
Very
were like two
powerful.
two dynamic things that I got, but absolutely not all. But
Yeah.
that's what I'll give today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Rashid, it's such a blessing because I didn't even know that. Like I didn't know, you know, when you have a powerful thing and you just want to go and give it and serve it, like be of service and just provide that to folks, you never know how powerful it's going to be. You know when you have a good thing and you even hope that it's going to be beneficial, but it's powerful when it does things for the folks that you've brought along with you, and it's even greater than what you imagine. Like it's something bigger than what you imagine. Because I didn't even think about that, but I think about the curation, and the curators that Ty Tours brought. Like I was thinking about Mama Ade when you were talking, and I was just thinking about even Olamina. Like I think he's probably in his 50s, and Mama Ade's in her 60s or 70s. And then we had some 30s and some 60s. And you're absolutely right, 40s. It really blended nicely. And I think that that was such a powerful gift that we were all given. Didn't even see that one coming. So, yeah, thank you for saying that. Thank you for just joining us. I mean, I think it was just powerful in general that you were there with us. So, okay, so we got a little bit of time, and I know we weren't able to hear. So, Rashida, if you have something you have a commitment to do, you're welcome to say. But if you have a commitment, we can say goodnight to you, just for joining us and giving your wonderful testimony. And then I see that we have Teaching Artists Institute, the Thai Tours is on with us. So if you want to come off mute and share a little bit more about Thai Tours and why Love Camp Ghana is definitely the way to go, we would definitely appreciate any and all feedback from you, um, because I know
So
that, uh,
yes, so I would love to do that.
okay,
Being here as a part of this team and uh, you know, being able to find curators that can relate to this topic in Ghana has been a privilege for our company. I'm so sorry that poor Raz Bandingo, it brings a signal. But hey, you know, that's the reality. I love what Rashida said about the streets and the sweets, because when we say the streets, really we're saying the village, right?
yeah, right,
The village is real, but sometimes being disconnected from technology is just what you're going to need to really reset and
the
reboot,
Wusa.
and
Mhm.
it changes your vibration. And maybe that's going to be the biggest barrier you find that you've had to love, being able to unplug so that you can truly connect. If
Exactly.
it sounds like you just tap back in. It
Yeah. We're with you. No, that was yeah, go ahead. We got a little feedback. Unmute yourself, Kim.
Okay. Yeah, and you know, I don't want to take much time. I really want to feature the curators that are going to be there with you guys, but know that our company, if not for the testimonials that you've heard from the last Love Camp, know that we've been working in Ghana since 2012. It was our first region. It is our foundation. We really cut our teeth by learning how to curate in Ghana. And so we're intimately connected. We can take you off the beaten path. The reason that we have curators like Ras Bandingo, who is famous by every stretch of the imagination in Ghana, even though right now he's in the village, like he said, for a ceremonial funeral, because he is the son, the grandson of the chief of his region in Wachau in upper West Ghana, which is customary for him to be there during the transition and to the ancestral realm. But know that in Ghana, when we work, we're working with those that orchestrate Ghana's nightlife, and we're working with those that orchestrate governments. And so the fact that they are still humble to the vision, knowing the importance of building healthy relationships and wanting to be a part of this curation, it's a blessing. And so I'm excited to see what possibilities are going to unfold in relationships individually, but also self-love. I think that a barrier to building healthy relationships is your ability to properly love and see yourself. And sometimes when you travel abroad, you think you're going to learn more about someone else, but really you learn more about yourself. And so I think there's a lot to be revealed in the curation that we've organized for you all. Many people, they'll take you on what we call the triangle when you go to Ghana. You go to Accra, you go to the Cape Coast and Elmina to the slave dungeons. And if you're lucky, you go to Kumasi and meet the Ashanti Kingdom. But we're able to take you to the Upper West and to the Upper East, to Balatanga, because we work with the artist class. And seeing our art through the lens of healthy relationship development and love, doing that comparative analysis, like you said earlier, Renee, you know, just seeing what relationship development and what family and community looks like through the various nations across Ghana, or what is now known as Ghana, through the lens of the Ga people, through the lens of the Fanti people. You know, when I think about I mean, yes, most people know the Ashanti, they know the Hene. If they've done their homework, they've read a little about Ya Asantewaa and the queen mothers of that region. But Ghana is a multiplicity of nations. And so I'm excited to share that. And our curators are well prepared to do that this summer, or should I say fall, this
Yeah, this
fall,
fall.
through the 13th. And so logistically, we're here to support. We're here to help with your payment plans and your fundraisers. And so don't count yourself out if you don't have a passport. We're here to help logistically to get you ready. All of the work that happens before you even get on the plane, we want to help you with that as a company. And so even if this is your first time out of the country, don't let that discourage you from this blessing in your life. Love Camp is an opportunity for you to go to the next level in your life. You don't really understand who you are until you find a mate that can help reveal things in your character, that can show you another side of yourself. Love Camp Ghana may be that for you. Let us help you have that experience. Don't let logistical barriers, don't let financial barriers keep you from going to the next level in your life. And I watched it last year in Tanzania. So I'm not talking from this hypothetical, theoretical place. I'm saying from the logistical perspective. I stand on the outside and I watch Renee curate and walk people into the next phase of their life, from loving themselves better to marriage, finding the love of their life, and then deciding we're going to take this next big step and get married. And now these people are married. I mean, going back home to your boo and saying, you know what? I didn't even tell people I was in a relationship, but I think now we might need titles. Like I've
Right.
seen it, the gamut, and these are real life case studies. And so I just want to see this happen in more people's lives, especially Black people. Black love matters. And Love Camp Ghana, we'll always be here to support because we know that is a necessary institution in our community.
Man, that's Ashe, Ashe. I love it. Okay, and we have another Thai Tours representative with us, the president. Did I get it right? The president. Hi, Key. Did you want to
Hello,
share
everyone.
anything before we go tonight?
Well, I just wanted to encourage everyone to definitely experience Love Camp 2024. Ghana, it's going to be an amazing experience. So I'm just proud of the work you, Renee and Baba Chad, and I got my new glasses, Rashida, I'm sorry, and I think Alana was on earlier.
Yes,
Right?
Alana was on. Yeah.
Yes, I saw. So, and thanks, Sister Kim, for keeping this vision alive. So I've been doing my promoting in different places. So, I got some of your flyers out, hitting hand-to-hand combat with it. So into these spaces. So we want to just keep getting the word out and getting it into the right hands and spreading the love. So I think Ghana is an ideal place for Black people here in the U.S. People are more familiar with Ghana, so they're open to the Western part of Africa. So we're excited about making this happen. So thank you.
Me too. Well, thank you
Mhm.
both. Thank you for so much for just being supportive of our work and just being great partners in this endeavor. So, all right. So, folks, if you are excited or even curious or open to do something different in 2024, and that you recognize that you want to be in the midst of love energy, you want to change your inner conversation about love, you want to have a whole different relationship with love, whether it's love with yourself or love with another, or strengthen your current situation, current love circumstance. Join us. Love Camp Ghana is going to be epic because we are going to ensure that the experience that we take you through is not only memorable, but transformative, changing how you relate to love, changing how you relate to yourself, and doing it all while anchoring the experience in such a beautiful way. So if you are interested, I invite you to go to the website and fill out our information form so we can contact you. And that is at www.thelovecamp.co, not .com, .co. And if you look under our services, we have retreats, and our Love Camp Ghana information form is on there. Go ahead and fill that form out so we know that you are interested, and we will follow up with you to answer any and all of your questions, any concerns, anything that you want to know about, whether it's payment plans, shots. We have lots of questions people want to know, passport, visas, all of these questions that come up. We are here to support you, to make sure that we answer all of your questions and get you ready for Love Camp Ghana. The other thing I want to share with you that's really important is if you want to make it a friend experience where you want to go with a group of your friends, also let us know. We have a special rate that supports friends who are teaming up and wanting to go to the continent together so that they have memorable moments and they are growing and learning together. We have that as an option. So I would say definitely reach out to us. Again, the Love Camp .co. Thank you for now. You have a wonderful day. We look forward to seeing you on the ground in Ghana.